Hello and welcome to the fourth podcast, FloorCast, of this thing I'm doing. So hey, welcome. So this week we have another university friend. God, so many university friends. I guess it's just that part of my life right now. I'm just going through university, and so everyone I meet is basically from university. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'll have a little gem in there for you sometime soon. So this is a friend of mine. He's very adventurous. He did a whole bunch of awesome stuff. He did some hitchhiking, a lot of traveling, and he has a lot of stories to tell. So if you want to hear something pretty cool and nasty and gnarly and awesome, then please, oh please, stick around and listen. All right, this is Aubrey McKenzie, and you're listening to the FloorCast. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye. All right, we're off. And we're right here, just to make it professional. Okay. Professionalism. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
Hi. Welcome. What's your name?
Cody.
Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you?
At least it wasn't an awkward intro.
Well, I don't know. I'm really bad at intros.
Yeah.
But you should come closer because the mic is like right there.
Yeah.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the FloorCast. Yeah, so Cody, who are you? Cody Deretic. Deretic. I can never get that right.
You've been saying it wrong for a while now. I didn't want to pull you up, but...
It'd just be awkward to stop me and just, dude, get it right.
Yeah. You always feel awkward when you do it to people, like, oh, actually, like...
Yeah.
This is how you say it, like...
Actually, I had that conversation with someone before. It was like, you call someone a certain name and they nenever correct you.
Yeah.
And then you find out their real name later.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
like a dickhead. You're kind of angry they didn't tell you.
Sorry.
You're like, do I keep going with it? Is that their name now?
Yeah, would it be weird to correct yourself? Because then you'd be admitting that you're like a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So Cody, you're a fellow game design student with me at RMIT.
Yep.
Are you? And you're third year. You're in my year.
Yeah, well, I've been at uni for a while now. I've taken a couple of gap years, so I guess it's like my 5th year or something.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
But
here we are.
Hey, you've been making tons of friends. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, and actually that's what I want to talk to you about today. Your travel exploits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you have a really colorful travel history.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've been hitchhiking. You've had like this huge American tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you like doing like rock climbing and stuff like that. So it's really interesting.
It's a bit of a contrast. It's funny. I remember when I was in year 12 and our school, like the whole like subject timetabling system had this massive change.
Yeah.
And you could only choose like subjects in certain slots.
Yeah.
And my favorite 2 subjects were multimedia and outdoor ed.
Oh,
and like
cool.
I had to do one of them. And I was like, it was the worst. Like, not that I cared much about high school, but at the same time I wanted to do it. Like,
yeah, and it's a similar theme in your life. You're like doing game design,
design,
but
but
at the same time, yeah.
It's funny. Everyone's kind of like, dude, why do you study game design? Like, you don't even play games. You fucking hitchhike around.
Yeah, you're like a bum.
Yeah. I know.
A really cool bum.
Dabble in a bit of everything. It's weird. Yeah.
Hey, but that's life, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if I was a game designer for the rest of my life, I'd probably be upset.
It. Yeah. Well, I read something the other day. It was saying that how like careers used to be like 20-year things, and now it's like if you used to get a job for 2 years, you're doing fucking really well. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's the world.
Which I think is cool. Like on every angle, like
you can do a lot more with your life.
Exactly.
Just, work at the same thing for 20 years.
Yeah.
But so outdoor stuff. What did you end up choosing in high school? Outdoors?
I chose multimedia. I think outdoor didn't even run in the end.
What?
So well, that was for like year 11 or year 12. Like, so I guess like people were actually trying to get good marks.
Yeah.
Where I was just fucking bumming around.
Actually, I never told you this, but in high school I had 1 year. I had to go to the mountains and then do some running and hiking. And it was like just an entire year of being in the mountains and running every day and hiking every day. Yeah. So it was like I have hiked in the Australian outback for a little bit. Yeah. Do you hike a lot, by the way, or?
Yeah. I haven't since I moved to Melbourne. Like I've been in Melbourne for 4 years or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I've done less just because I'm doing uni and stuff. But I've been to Tassie a couple of times. I did the Overlander track there.
Yeah.
It's like up the west coast, like in 7 or 8 day thing.
Oh, cool.
And that was really cool, man.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hiking over here is amazing.
Yeah, well,
I really like it.
Tasmanians are really well known for like their path building. So like how they build their paths and like, you know, so you stay off like the land and like make sure everything's like pristine. Like,
cool.
So it's so beautiful. Like you can see that it's really working.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I've never actually been to Tasmania.
Yeah. Oh, you should go. Like,
yeah. But I hear like dodgy things and like really cool things.
It's all like people make it out. Like,
yeah.
We got a friend from Tasmania, and everyone just bags him out for like, you know, sleeping with his cousin, which probably happened. But, you know.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Don't reinforce that, man.
Yeah, nice. Podcast can take a weird twist really quickly. It's too early on.
Hi there, welcome to the FloorCast. No, it's cool, dude. It's cool.
Yeah.
I do want to make this podcast a little more edgy. Like talk about, you know, like I want to talk about drugs more. I want to talk about philosophy more and stuff like that. So
I
like
think that's cool.
Anything that breaks the mold from like the typical is like perfect.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, most of our trips have been a bit weird, so that's good. I think maybe it'll work.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell me about your hitchhiking around Australia?
Yeah. I guess I'll give it a bit of an introduction. We got really good at plugging it because, I'm not plugging it, but just talking about it because whenever we're on the trip, we'd meet like 5 people a day or whatever. Yeah. And like one thing leads to another. You got to tell them about like why you're hitchhiking.
Your whole trip. Yeah.
Yeah. So
like, we're running away from home.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually just murdered a bunch of people and we're kind of just getting out of there. Yeah.
Before the cops.
Yeah. Just keep driving. No. Yeah. So basically, I had an idea ages ago. It started because like whenever you talk about hitchhiking, because prior to doing the trip, I'd done a fair bit in Australia and in North America.
Yeah.
And people are always like, "Oh, dude, like that's insane, like that's crazy, like Ivan Light's gonna get you, like Wolf Creek, man. Have you seen the movie? Like, yeah, I've fucking seen the movie." But so like this is such a bad stigma behind it, and I was like, it'd be so cool to just do it and like photograph everyone and kind of document them, and just to show people that it's just regular people, they're just like regular dudes, like the same as like me and you, like they're just you know they're trying to be nice or whatever. Yeah. So I had that idea. I went to the States and I did all that, and then I didn't end up doing it because I can't take photos for shit, and I can't really write either. But I had the idea, and then when I got back in the States, I started hanging out with my friend Jesse a bit more because he was into rock climbing as well, and we started climbing together.
Oh, cool.
And one afternoon we got pretty wasted when we were like bouldering at Burnley.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, you know, what if we just like, because I told him the idea.
Yeah.
I was like, what if we just like go around Australia and like, you know, do it and like make a book, and we're just like, yeah.
Whoa.
But we were pretty drunk, and then like, I think like later that week or the next week, I kind of messaged him. I was like, oh man, like we should actually do that.
Yeah.
And then he was keen. Like I guess we're both very similar people in like the way we want to travel.
All right, cool.
In a sense that like we're both kind of in creative fields or whatever.
So it was an idea that wasn't like just that was like inspired by being drunk and
bouldering. Well, because it's something that's kind of built up, and like he had similar ideas, and he's always wanted to like he loves his photography or whatever, and he's really good at it.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
And then straight away, like it was funny because like at the same time, I think Kickstarter launched that week in Australia, and I'd been a massive fan of Kickstarter for ages, and I was hanging out.
Yeah.
I was like thinking of ideas all the time. And then this came up, and I was like, dude, like Kickstarter's like just launched, like we should use that.
So did you put it on Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. Wait, I thought I'd already told you about it.
I actually didn't know about the Kickstarter part.
Oh yeah, well maybe I'll talk about that.
How much do you make in the end, by the way?
We made $4,600.
And that was like just enough to like get you around for a while.
Yeah, well, so what we did was like, after that we quickly like we spent a month working on this campaign, and we filmed the video and put the reward goals and all that stuff up. We did a bit of math, and like all the money was just going towards producing the book, because like making a nice book with like high quality pages, because that was important to reflect the photos or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
And so we did a bit of math, and we're like, oh, you know, we need this much per book or whatever. We need to sell this many books, like over 100 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And initially, the goal was like $3,500 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was really worried. Like I thought people would just think it was stupid, and like, you know, these two dickheads trying to get money, so go on holiday or whatever, or like, you know, hitchhiking stuff.
Hell no, man. That's
So I ended up like sort of convincing Jesse to lower the goal to $2,500. I was like, dude, like as long as we even get some money, we can use it to put it towards a book, and then, you know, whatever.
But it did really well.
Yeah, well, the response, like, and we just shared it on Facebook or whatever, and between us we have like had enough friends sort of get that sort of circle going. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we made our goal in like 10 days or whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was like, it just blew us away. Like, I didn't think that anyone would take it seriously, let alone...
Did you have like one or two friends who were like, here's $1,000?
No, well, all our goals were quite low. It was like either like a digital version of the book or a copy of the book, or I think the $100 one, there was like 15 available and they all sold out. And that was like the digital book, the book, and then like a big print of a photo from the strip.
Was that the highest tier?
No, the biggest tier was a $300 one. It was limited to 2 people. And that was like, you get everything, plus we'll hitchhike to wherever you are in Australia and like hang out with you. That was kind of like, we didn't think anyone would do that, and no one did. But it was kind of just like, that'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
It would have sucked though if they lived at like Alice Springs. Because we did the perimeter of Australia.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they like live in the center, just like, come on down.
Yeah. Damn it. But $300 is a lot of money, so whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so...
Or like, it'd be funny if you had like a joke tier, which is like, you get the book and a kiss.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd get really weird really quickly, like, some old dudes, like, yeah, come and hang out with me.
Oh yeah, super sexy boys.
Anyway, so we were funded, and then...
That's awesome.
About a week after we were funded, we set off, and I think I've explained like what the trip was yet.
Well, yeah,
people don't know.
Well, I mean, like you've explained the bare bones, which is like you're hitchhiking around the perimeter of Australia.
Yeah. So the constraints were $25 a day each. Yeah. And then they had 30 days to do it. And that was mainly because we had uni in 30 days. Yeah, that's true. That's where that came from. Yeah. And then just to hitchhike and obviously do it that way. And I think we had to average about 450 k's a day, which sounds like intense, but when you're
when you're in a car.
But like when you're just doing it, like say like we wake up with the sun and go to bed whenever. Like we have like massive days, like 12-hour days or whatever. Yeah. Like 450 k's might only be 5 hours on the road or 4 hours on the road. Like that's true. Out of 12 hours, we still got 8 hours to like bum around and check out towns, go swimming and stuff. So like
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I remember when we walked out on our first day. Yeah. And kind of just like, my friend dropped us at the edge of Melbourne, just like at the start of the freeway. Yeah. And we kind of sat there, and no one came for a while, and we kind of just like looked at each other like, shit, like, all these people giving us all this money, and we're like, fuck, we're just gonna get stuck in the edge of Melbourne for 4 weeks. And come back and be like, yeah, so...
Or like just circle around Melbourne and then come back in from the other side, like, we did it!
Just make it all up. Oh, that's funny. No, like within just shortly after that, like took about 15 minutes, some lady pulled over. Oh, she just dropped her kid at school. She was only driving like 20 k's. Yeah. And we got in, and then after that, within the end of the day, we'd done like 800 k's, 700 k's.
Whoa.
And we were in Adelaide. Yeah.
Was that in the morning? So you started off in the morning, and you just
we started at like 8 o'clock, and then we got to Adelaide by. I can't remember now, man, but like 4 or 5 o'clock or whatever. Like, and
there are like so many questions I want to ask you. Like,
far away.
Did you meet any crazy people?
Yeah.
Like, how long did you get stuck at any given point?
Yeah. Okay. There's something to talk about, but
I'll
try and tell you the cool parts.
Right. Or like if you have stories that you.
There's a couple. I'll just give you some of the stats, I guess.
Okay, go.
We had 63 lifts, I think. So
in total.
Yep. So all the way around, a bunch of people like let us stay in their houses.
So good.
Like a bunch of people bought us beer. Like actually on the first day, like this guy and his girlfriend, they were in their 30s or whatever. Yeah. They drove us like 600 k's, like almost the whole way, like. And they bought a 6-pack. You guys want a beer? I'm like, yeah. Hell yeah. This is way too easy. Like getting beers and like hitchhiking on Australia is too easy. Like surely it's gonna get shitter than this. But, But it was a piece of piss, man. Like we got through the Nullarbor. Like we got picked up by, and that was the beauty of the book. The book's done now. We're just waiting for it to get printed or whatever. Yeah. But everyone who picked us up was just so different. Like we had like an engineer. Yeah. We had like an ex-cop. We had like a 17-year-old girl who just visited her boyfriend. Whoa. We had this mum who was like this really hot mum, like, and Jessie got in the front. She was like 35 or whatever, but she was cool, super cool. Okay. And then Jessie got in the front because we always alternated who went in the front, like chatted to them or whatever. Yeah. I got in the back, and like in the 2 side seats there was 2 babies in like little baby seats, and I just like sat in the middle and just like hung out with them. And his kid's like, "What is this guy doing?" You're not my dad. I'm sitting in the back.
That is so good.
But, that was like the coolest part, and like.
So you just met a whole variety, a rainbow of different people.
I couldn't stress more. Like it's just regular people.
Yeah.
Like,
did you meet any crazy people?
We never felt in danger, put it that way. Like,
okay, yeah.
Like, never ever. Like, there was weird people, but they were always like cool weird. Like it was kind of like this guy's weird. Like it's funny,
but in a good way.
Yeah. There was this one dude who just he didn't really understand hitchhiking. Like he picked us up and he's like, "Oh, so you guys got money for fuel?" And we were like, "Oh, dude, we're hitchhiking. Like we don't have much money." And we ended up giving like $5, but he just like broke up with his girlfriend. And he was just like on the phone to his dad, like yelling at him. And at one point, he was like on the phone to his dad, and he's like, it's pretty heavy. He's like, "Oh, dude, like you treat me like shit. Do you want me to like drive off a bridge?" And I'm in the front seat. I'm like, "Fuck, man." And I was just like, when he hung up, I was like, "Oh, dude, do you want me to drive?" He's like, "Oh no, man, like I won't drive off a bridge when you're in the car." Like, dude, far out, man. But he wasn't that bad. He was just like, yeah.
It'd be so funny. He was like, "I have 2 people in here. I swear to God,
yeah, I'll bring
them
down with me." Yeah. Me just feel like, fuck.
Dude, I met an American from Seattle.
Yeah.
Who was also hitchhiking in America, and I met him in San Francisco. And he said like his trip from LA to San Fran was like the weirdest trip because he was in a car with like this practically crazy person, but he was like really into conspiracies and aliens.
Yeah.
So the whole car trip was like there's this one guy telling him about like lizard people and aliens and shit like that, and he was like, "Wow, this is pretty crazy."
I actually had this is like jumping to a different story, but when I was in the States, we worked at the Grand Canyon. We scored a job there.
Yeah.
And it was because the south rim of the Grand Canyon, where all the hotels are, is like, there's a population of 2,000 employees that live there, like most of the year round.
Yeah.
And it's like this cult, man. Like it's all these social outcasts and like people that like don't have regular jobs. They just go live at the Grand Canyon and work there.
Wow.
And like it's minimum wage, but it's easy as.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the first days, like after being there a few days, we kind of figured that it was this weird place.
Yeah.
And then I was at like the rec center, which is like a couple of k's from where we stayed.
Yeah.
And this security guard or this maintenance guy was driving, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, can you drop me here?" And he's like, "Yeah." I get in the car, and straight away he just launches into this like massive thing. He's like, "Dude, like you're part of a cult now. Like people get stuck here, get sucked into the canyon." And I was like, "Holy shit, man!" And this guy's full, like got his eyes on like glaring into my soul. He's like, "Man, yeah, like you're a part of it now. Whoa. You're a part of the machine." And I was like, "Whoa,
holy crap!
I just come here to make some money so I can just go somewhere else. Like I don't really want to know you anymore."
Holy shit! Wait, so this guy was part of the cult, or was he like?
Oh, he was like, I don't know. He was just crazy, but
okay, so he wasn't warning you. He was like introducing.
Oh no! He was like, no, it was more of a warning. Like he was like, "Man, like people were weird here," and like he was right. Like everyone there was kind of weird, but even like in a nice way. Like it wasn't like.
So like esoteric, kind of like weird, like alien weird, or
no? Like I said, social outcasts. So
yeah,
like just people who like, yeah. But amongst that, there was people who were cool. Like we made a lot of friends and like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I ended up bailing early, and that's when I hitchhiked around California by myself. But
so you've been hitchhiking everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the Australian hitchhiking. Yeah. So this guy was on the phone. He threatened to like throw the car off a bridge.
Yeah, but like I said, like we never felt in danger. Like he was just a dickhead or whatever.
And for those 63 lifts, no one was too weird or
never,
evil.
Man. Like, and that's the thing. Like
that's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Jesse often talked about we often talked about that. Like the whole idea of the book. Like if you broke it down into like its core values or like its meanings or whatever, is that like if you stripped everything from people. Yeah. Like took away all the bullshit, like which is kind of what the trip was about. Mm-hmm. Like at the beginning, they just want to help. Like humans want to help each other. Yeah. And that's kind of like what hitchhiking is. Like when like we have nothing and they're just kind of in their car. They're just like these guys are just getting around.
That's
like,
awesome.
Why would I not pick them up?
So you like really tuned into that, like just the human.
Yeah. Well, we didn't want the book to get too sappy or the trip to get too heavy. Like like just believe in yourself and shit. We don't do that. Like it wasn't about that. Well, dude. But like. I don't know, we kind of thought about
everyone loves you, man. Just get out there.
Get
out to the world.
Which is, I guess, it's what it's about. Yeah, but we wanted to keep it light.
But you want it to be tasteful,
Exactly, and we want it to be like kind of funny and interesting, and not like we don't want people to read it and be like feel sad about their lives, or be like, oh, like gonna believe in myself and listen to my heart, and like it's not that. It's just
hello, everyone at home. Listen to your heart. Yeah. For once in your life, man.
Yeah, I gotta stop talking shit. No.
Thanks, Kody. Thanks for coming here and making this podcast so sappy.
But no, I guess on a more lighter angle, it was kind of about. There's a lot of people who like. I actually remember when I was in high school, I had this art teacher that I really didn't like. Yeah. And I remember her saying like really vividly, like I remember like nothing that she said throughout all the years, but this one thing she said, she was like. If you guys want to travel, like, you need 10 grand minimum. Like, I don't care where you're going, like, 10 grand then think about where you're gonna go.
Whoa.
And like even back then, I was like 16 or whatever, and I had never hitchhiked or anything. I was like, surely you're not right. Like, definitely not. Like, you can't be right. And then it's funny because when we started making the book, like that was ringing in my mind the whole time, and like I was gonna fucking like stick it to the man. And like we got around Australia, all the way around Australia on like $500 each.
Whoa!
Yeah,
for a whole month.
The whole way around, yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so like, and like,
that's amazing.
That's like for what I'm most proud of. Just like stick it to the man. Like, You don't need like fancy hotels. Like, you don't even need a fucking car. And that was the coolest thing about having nothing is like, you know, the only thing that I worried about on the trip was like with Jesse. Like we've got to worry about each other. Yeah. And like, because we don't have all we have is our backpacks or whatever. Yeah. So. And
then everything else is fine.
Yeah, you just put yourself out there and like you're not worrying about like, oh, I got work tomorrow, I got a mortgage. Have you ever seen
the movie or read the book Into the Wild?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Was that kind of like inspired by?
Yeah, my whole life has been inspired by that. Chris.
For those at home, Into the Wild is a book and a movie about a man who literally just drops everything in his life, even his money, and just goes hitchhiking and survives miraculously for like years on end. And it's great. You should check it out. Yeah.
Good plug.
Yeah.
John Krakauer.
Thank you. I try and do that sometimes. That's awesome. So when you watch that movie, you're like, I'm gonna do that, man.
Yeah, I remember I saw that movie when I was really young as well, and I was never really into travel back then. Like I guess pretty much all the traveling I've done since then has been pretty much because of that. Like
that's awesome.
It's really, really inspired me.
Yeah. So where's your favorite place in the world? If you had one, or you haven't seen
maybe or places that I've been. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen the whole world.
Yeah, of course.
Yosemite when I went there in California.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like.
Rock
I hitchhiked there as well, but that's the rock climbing mecca of the world.
Yeah, I really want to go there.
There's so much history there and like everything. It's just really, really cool.
That's so cool. Like really nice, huge mountains. Is it limestone, by the way, or is it just?
I think it's granite. Yeah.
It's granite.
Yeah, because I remember I didn't do climbing here. There was different type of rock. I'm not sure. I'm not really good with the rock types, but anyway, I remember I got there, and like, because there's obviously the grading system, bouldering or whatever. Yeah. Like say back here, I was climbing like a V3 or a V4.
Yeah.
And I got there and I jumped on a V2 and I'm just like struggling. Like,
it's
like the rock's so much harder and like, because like I think it's called the Yosemite Decimal System.
Is it on? Like, is it a lot of fingers sort of stuff?
Yeah, definitely, And it's just like if you climb for like 20 minutes, like without. I'm not climbing there before, like your hands are shredded. Like I remember because I hitchhiked there and I got there and I camped there for a week. And I climbed there the first day just by myself. And I literally climbed for like half an hour and I was just like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to climb anymore.
Like your hands are just bloodied and And that's what I noticed. Like I live next to a bouldering wall and like just like I do it for like an hour or like I try my best to like do it for an hour until like I give in. But like at the end, my hands are just like just all like hard and God damn. Yeah. So I can only imagine what like granite does to your hands, man. Yeah,
it was more of like just a shredding because like it's like really small, sharp parts of the rock, I guess.
Yeah. But like even like small pebbles, just like being rubbed into your skin, just like damn,
gritty. But,
so how was America anyway?
Awesome.
Awesome.
But yes, I'm pretty fortunate. Like my close group of friends who I always kind of travel with. 3 or 4 of us or whatever. Done a few trips together, but we're all very like-minded in the way that like whenever we travel, we book a flight in. And we book a flight out, and then we just everything in the middle is whatever happens. Which is perfect.
That is awesome.
And America was a prime example because we flew in. And we'd obviously done our research, like we understood like how the States work, so we thought we did. And we got there and we were at LA and we walked out of LA. And I think we kind of assumed that LAX was like in the middle of like America, like everything was happening around it. Walked out of the airport and we stood there and we're just like, holy fuck, like, where are we? Like we couldn't see any high rises, we couldn't see anything. All we saw was a Denny's, which is like the epitome of a shitty cafe. So we just walked there and drank our free coffee and had our artificial eggs.
Dude.
And we're just like, what are we going to do for the next 8 months?
LA is like a shithole.
Yeah.
It's like so spread out.
Yeah, that's what blew me away. Like, I thought it was like, bang city, but it was like, it's like it's massive.
Dude. It's like a desert of buildings. Yeah. So what do you end up doing anyway? After the Denny's? We
went and stayed at a hostel, found a hostel, and then because our plan was to buy a van and live in that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we got there, and we did a bit of research before, and we figured we could do it. And we got there, I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be way harder because you need a permanent residency and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the end, I knew a guy that lived there, and I just said that I lived there, like, so I guess it was pretty illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like on our form, it shows like, oh, yeah, I live with him or whatever.
Yeah,
All our mail was sent to him. But we found this old van on Craigslist.
Yeah.
It was owned by this like 80-year-old Italian woman, and we kind of just like winged it. Like we got a cab, $80 cab, all the way out to this place, and we just assumed the car would be sweet. Like, 'cause if we didn't, we have to catch the cab back or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And we got there, and my friend Craig, he's like quite into cars and like he builds cars and things, so he kind of sussed it out. And he's like, yeah, boys, I think it's alright. Yeah. And it was perfect. Like it was a nice sized van. Like had a nice area in the back to lay down.
Yeah, cool.
So we bought that, and then we like souped it up. Like we bought like a flat screen, like hung it up in the backboard and Xbox. So like play Xbox in the back of the van. Like had an Esky in there. Yeah. It was the coolest, man. And then.
So you were just driving around in that thing for like just a while.
Yeah. Well, it broke down a few times, and then like when I said we didn't have anything planned, we had a ticket to a festival that was on the other side of the states. Like almost, it was in Tennessee, Bonnaroo, which is like a massive festival. Yeah. So we had to get there in 6 days.
Damn.
So, which was already a fair task because it's quite a way, but we broke down.
Compressed.
We broke down for 4 days, so we had 2 days to get there.
Ugh.
So we pretty much just once it was fixed, we drove for 2 days straight there. Overnight, it was just madness, and we got there, and it was awesome. Like because like you can take in your own alcohol there and whatever. Yeah. And we just bought like 10 slabs or whatever.
Dude, alcohol over there is so cheap as well.
Oh yeah.
So you just like load up and then you just go.
Oh, man. But
Were you drunk the whole time while you were at the festival?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that blew me away was like, obviously like Melbourne has a drug culture or whatever. Which of course. It's there, but it's not, it's not really in your face.
Yeah.
And then we got to this festival, and I've never seen. It was like stepping in a 1970 like San Fran. Like there was like, and it wasn't even just like party drugs or whatever. It was like dudes were like walking around like selling acid like every 20 minutes. Whoa. Like I guess because they heard our accent, they're like, oh, these foreigners must want all the American drugs. And like constantly in our face, like, you guys want some acid? Like, yeah, no, it's sweet. Please.
Dude, we already had like 5 tabs.
Yeah. The guys were weird. Like they bought a ton. And like they must have loved us because like if we wanted anything, they would just give it to us. Like it was just crazy.
That's awesome. Wait, so they just gave you drugs?
Yeah, like.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But like I said, we had those 10 slabs, so like we just drank that flat out. Yeah. But I just couldn't believe the culture, and like, but it was like it was cool because like it was I don't know, I guess like the day festivals in Australia, like Stereosonic and stuff, like everyone's on like pills or whatever, and they're just like want to fight people, and they got their streamlets on, and they got their muscles popping out of their fucking eyeballs or whatever. And they're fighting, but this was the total opposite. Like everyone's just like, I guess because it was hallucinogenics or whatever, like everyone's kind of like, whoa man,
dude,
slow down. Yeah,
we're all part of the earth. Yeah.
No,
man.
But it was cool. Like,
it's great.
It was really chill.
It's really great.
We had the best time, and the best thing about the festival was that, I guess because we were Australian, everyone kind of heard our accents and come around and like party with us. Like we met so many people. And we got them to write their numbers on our van, like all over our van. We got these mobile numbers. We wrote down where they were from, and then for the rest of the trip, we would like get to their state or their town or whatever. Yeah. And we'd call them up, be like, "Oh, hey, like so, we're in your town, like can we stay on your floor?" And we did that flat out, and like it saved us like heaps of money.
That's so great.
And then plus like we slept in car parks every other day.
Yeah. Which, so saved money as well with that.
Yeah, which was cool, like. Because, like, Walmart car parks, it's legal to, like, camp there, apparently. Like, in a camper van anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But, it's legal?
Legal, yeah.
Oh, it's legal.
Legal, so you can do it, yeah. But the first time we did it wasn't a Walmart. And we just kind of, because it was so hot, it was the peak of summer. Yeah. And we just pulled over in this random car park that's around town. Yeah. Because it was too hot to sleep in the van, we just slept on the side of the road or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember getting woken up by this flashlight like 4 in the morning.
No.
This cop, and he was like, "Sir, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh man," I was like in my jocks, like on the side of the road, sleeping on top of my sleep bag because it's so hot. I was like, "Fuck, man." He's like, I'm like, "Oh man, we're just Australians. So, like we have no money." Like, he's like, "Oh, where's your passports?"
Man.
He's like, "Oh, I gotta call my supervisor or whatever."
Did he let you go? Or?
Yeah, he called him up and then he had a chat and he checked our passports and like it all, we weren't lying or anything.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I guess you're not breaking any laws. Like,
really? Wait, so it's not illegal to sleep in your van?
Well, I'm not sure. Like, maybe I don't know if he said that, but he was like, oh, as long as you're going by the morning, like, you're not hurting anyone or whatever. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, we're driving wherever we were going.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so the cop was cool.
Yeah, he was really cool. Like, it was really nice, and that was the whole theme for the States, I guess. Like, again, because we're Australian, like, everyone was like.
You probably were a magnet drawing everyone in. Like,
that was so nice. Like, it was awesome.
That's so cool.
Which I guess is the way with any nationality anywhere. Like, if you're a foreigner, people are like, oh, you're automatically interesting, right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird. When I went to the States, even though I was a foreigner, like, people thought I was a Canadian. Or
well, because your accent's kind of hybrid, I guess. It's not really
Hi there. Hello, American. How are you doing?
That's funny because, like...
God bless America.
Yeah, because, like, we did just drive out... Our van ended up breaking, by the way, after the festival, and we had to sell it, which... We didn't even sell it, we just gave it away. Because it was worth nothing, which cost us a lot of money. But we ended up buying another car after after a bus and a flight or whatever.
Yeah.
But, we ended up seeing 34 states in 3 months, so, like, we just smashed it out. We drove around.
That's a fair amount, yeah.
Because we had our own car, like, or whatever. It's easy. Like, you just drive wherever you want.
You just go to the next town.
Yeah, and that was the idea, to see kind of, like, the stuff that people would normally see. Like, we saw, like, really, like, small towns and, like, I guess rural American towns, if you call them that.
Yeah, did you try the beer? Like, just the beer?
Yeah, we tried all their beer.
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
well, we drank, like, we drank Buds a lot. And there was a beer that was...
Budweiser,
yeah. It's funny, because when we're at the festival, because it's Bud Light, we just assumed that it was light beer. And at the festival, like, these Americans we met were bagging them out, like, all day. Like, oh, you guys think you can drink? Like, you're drinking light beer all the time. And then, like, on the second last day of the festival, we found out that it was light in carbs or whatever it is.
Oh.
And we're like, shit. we're like, guys, we're so sorry. Like, you guys are actually machines. Like, we're thinking we're top shit. And
then they look at you and they're like, yeah. What the hell, guys?
It was funny.
That's so great. I remember meeting, like when I was traveling to America, I met like a whole bunch of Melbourne people because like LA's the first drop off for all the
definitely
Melbourne kids. So like, I met a whole bunch of people who were just buying alcohol like in LA and going to the hostel and drinking all the time. And one of them went to Tesco and they bought like a 5-liter jug, like a 5-liter bottle thing of like vodka for like $5 or $2 or something like that. Ridiculous.
Insane,
Yeah, like you drink that and you just die.
Yeah. Well, that's what I started doing. Like I started just buying vodka and mixing it with Red Bull because like you buy they call them handles, don't they?
Handles? Oh yeah. They're like moonshine bottles kind of.
Yeah, it's like a liter and a half or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were like $9. And like that much vodka lasts you a long time.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Potent as hell.
Hell yeah. And it was like a bottle of Absolute as well, which is like a pretty fair, like good quality sort of stuff.
Yeah.
For, like you would not dream of that. Like
no,
Australia.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Australia's freaking expensive, man.
Yeah, I thought that was funny as well because like when you hear about the States, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's a lot cheaper, the dollar and everything.
Yeah.
And like things were cheaper, but it still wasn't. I didn't think it was relative. Like,
like,
alcohol and drugs was super cheap.
Yeah.
And then like the cost of living was cheaper, but it wasn't as cheap. Like, so people were still working like, we met people working like 2 full-time jobs or 2 part-time jobs or whatever. And like they're just struggling to pay their rent and buy their groceries. Like, whereas in Melbourne, like you can work 2 days a week and pay your rent and still go out. Like, it's, our wages are so good and like it's expensive, but it's still.
So it's kind of like the flip side,
It is,
because they earn less. Even though it's cheaper, like kind of the same thing.
Yeah. But I guess it wasn't balanced that well. I don't know. But back to what I was saying before. It was funny. Like when we went to the rural towns, we met people and they heard our accents. Like, because we noticed that a lot of Americans had never left their states. It was kind of like and like they just had no idea. Like
never left their states.
Yeah, well, like flat out. Like mainly like in those like secluded kind of like areas.
Really small towns.
Yeah. This one woman came up and she's like. She was like, oh, where are you guys from? Like, you sound like, you're from somewhere else, like maybe like, Northern America or Canada or something. And I was like, oh no, like we're from Australia. She's like, oh, like that's the one next to Amsterdam. I was like, no.
Yeah, mate.
No, not really. No way. But that happened a few times.
Like right below France, right next to Amsterdam.
Yeah, like that little hotspot. But,
dude. But did you ever go to Europe, by the way? Or?
No, I've never been to Europe.
Okay,
no. Yeah. I'd love to though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I want to, because I'm moving it. I think I'm moving to Europe at the end of this year.
Yeah, you said that.
Fingers crossed.
That's rad.
Which means like I'll get the opportunity to do a Europe trip if I so deem it, you know.
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I guess because all the countries are so close together, like.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. You just either get a car or like you know just bus it or something like that. Yeah. So you know, how do you find Southeast Asia, by the way?
Yeah, it was cool. That was probably my first big trip.
Yeah. How long were you there for, by the way?
Like 6 or 7 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same deal. We had a flight into KL,
okay.
and then we flew out of.
Vietnam?
No. Bangkok.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and we had nothing planned, and we just got there and kind of caught buses and winged it. And
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Was it a lot more lively than America, in your opinion?
I don't know. Like, we didn't like Malaysia that much. I guess it's the side that we sort of like I said we winged it. We got this hotel that was apparently in like a blacklisted area for tourists. We didn't realize at the time. We got there and like it was pretty dodgy. We're like, oh whatever, like you know Malaysia's dodgy. And like it was just this really dirty place and there's like a lot of shit going on. And then we stayed there for a few days and like when we left, this guy was like, yeah man, like you know that area is like totally blacklisted. Like, we shouldn't have been there. And we were just like, fuck.
You could have had your kidney stolen.
Yeah. But straight after that we went straight to Phuket and then we just island hopped.
Oh, Phuket's sweet.
Yeah.
Phuket's sweet.
But and we went to because we would just meet people on islands and they're like, oh this island's sick.
Yeah.
So we did that, and someone told us about PP Islands.
Ah, yeah.
And we're like, oh, yeah, we'll go for a day or 2 days or whatever. Yeah. And we got there, and we started drinking, and we didn't stop drinking for like 9 days. And we were like, we gotta go somewhere else. But it was the best, because it was like, you walk out to the beach, and then all these clubs just back onto the ocean.
Yeah.
And like, the ocean is just a dance floor.
Yeah. That's so good.
Man, it was the coolest time.
Yeah. PP Island, all those little islands are off the coast of Thailand, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or like coast of Cambodia, Thailand?
Yeah, well, these were all southern, like they were like the southern part of Thailand.
Yeah, cool.
So like we went to a full moon party as well, which was wild. But that was like...
I've actually been one of those.
Yeah.
What are they like?
Definitely do it.
Insane.
Like, we got there in the day and it's like this most beautiful beach, like it's like this cove or whatever. There's all these like people just hanging out, getting tan, like you know, thousands of people.
Alright, cool.
And this beach is so beautiful. I was like, oh, surely the party isn't here because it's just so like pristine.
Yeah.
And then come nighttime, like there was like fucking like skipping ropes on fire. There was like a water slide that had fire rings. And, like, it's just regular people go down these and like naturally we just got hammered and just walked around. Like we lost each other because there's like 20,000 people in this beach. It is not even big. And like I remember just walking around by myself, like no chance of finding anyone. So I'm just like jumping this skip rope on fire and like going down this fire slide. And
like, that's sick.
Yeah, I ended up because we had nowhere to stay on the island. We left our passports on another island.
Yeah.
Because we knew it might get pretty wild, so we figured we'd just leave all our important shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I remember I passed out on the beach, and I woke up, and there was this Thai guy like over top of me with his hands in my pockets, like trying to take my shit or whatever. And like I had nothing on me, and we kept all our money in our jocks.
Oh, okay. It was easier. Smart.
Yeah. And I kind of woke up and I was still pretty wasted. So I just like pushed him off. And he ran off and I just passed out again. But it's funny. When we were there, we met this American guy who came with us to the full moon party.
Yeah.
And then as we had a plan to meet the next morning at 10 a.m. at the spot.
Yeah.
And because I pretty much just slept next to that spot. And by then, like I lost my shirt, lost my shoes. I just had a pair of shorts.
Whoa.
And like I'm just sitting there like dehydrated as hell, no money.
Yeah.
Waited for like an hour. I didn't see anyone. I was like, fuck, like, where is everyone? Like, there was like 7 of us by then. Like, accumulated these people.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, so I
But
thought...
you lost everyone.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, I might as well try and hike back to the boat, try and scab a ride to the island, and hopefully everything will work out.
Yeah.
Started hiking back, and it was like heat of summer again. I was like, I had no shirt, I was like, I'm not going to do this. So I walked back and just sat there, and then luckily one of my mates rocked up and he had enough money to get us both back.
Oh, nice.
So we got back a few hours late, and then the next 2 people were like 5 hours late. And then the other 2 guys were like, got back that night.
Whoa.
And then the American guy we met didn't come back for 2 days.
Whoa.
We just met him, we had his passport and everything. And we ended up leaving that hostel and went somewhere else, just left him a note.
Yeah.
And then 3 days.
Did you take the passport with you? Or?
We took all his stuff with us, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just in case, like, we just keep it with us and like he'd eventually find us or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
We figured it was better than just leaving it at the hostel, like someone might just rob it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then like 3 days later, we're just in this pub, just playing pool.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he just walks in, like, he's like, oh, hey dudes. He's like, man, like, where you been? We got all this shit. He's like, oh, I met this Thai girl, we kind of hung out.
Oh, cool.
Put on like this, this little trip together. I was like, oh yeah, nice, man.
Nice.
It was really, he was just so chill about it.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's what I love about traveling. Everyone's just kind of like, whatever happens.
Have you ever had Like while you were there, did you try a mushroom shake or like?
No, I didn't. No, I've heard about people that have done them though.
Careful about it, yeah.
Yeah. My friend told me this story that he did one in this alleyway.
Yeah.
And he just got stuck in this
like, in an alleyway.
Yeah, well, he ended up in an alleyway, and then like this alleyway turned into like this paradox where he couldn't there was no end to the alleyway. Like, holy shit! And then like the next morning he ended up going back there to suss it out, and it was just like this alleyway that was like 10 meters long, and he was like, man, I was
I was lost.
Yeah.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, I met a guy who did a mushroom shake.
Yeah.
And then he was like literally just like dead for like 2 days. He was like in bed and he couldn't move and he couldn't understand anything. And it was like it's pretty scary, but like you have to be careful when it comes to that sort of stuff.
No, that's
yeah.
But no, on the whole, like Southeast Asia was cool. It was more of a party trip than we expected. Like the plan was to go there and check out some of the history of the temples and and I think we saw like half a temple. You know, it's like let's have a beer. I think. Half the reason was it was summer, like you just want to be on the beach, like want to stay home and
that's right. Just chill out, meet people, get
exactly, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how did your trip in America finish up anyway?
Good. We did the whole 3 months or whatever. Like the plan was to do 8 months. We ended up cutting it short because we ran out of money because we bought 2 cars. And but once we're at the canyon, we planned to stay there for a few months, but it was minimum wage and it was cool for a bit. We did all the hikes through the Grand Canyon, which was like amazing, man. Like a beautiful place. But after a bit...
Was there any rock climbing in the canyon?
No, because it was like sandstone or some type of rock that like it just crumbles. So I took my stuff and I did a bit of bouldering, but it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
But anyway, and then I was like to the guys, I'm gonna bail, like. And every show we've been on, I've kind of left at the end and done my own thing. And cool. I was like, I'm gonna do that again. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then coincidentally at the same time, some girls we met from Miami were road tripping through to Vegas.
Oh,
it was like exactly the same week, and I was like, I might try and get under them.
That's awesome.
And they came through and they visited the canyon. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't mind if I just like
hitchhiked,
jump in your car with you? And like, yeah, come on. And it's funny, they booked this really nice hotel in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice. Like, they got a special deal or whatever.
Whoa,
and like, yeah, you can just like crash in one of the beds with us. Like, it's fine. Like, I was like, that is rad. Like, go to Vegas, like, get the full star treatment. So I went out one night with them.
Yeah.
And then I made my way to LA. I had some friends there.
Yep, cool.
And then the plan was I wanted to visit like Joshua Tree and Yosemite and
yeah.
But by then I'd booked my flight for a month away because I was out of money pretty much. That's why I was hitchhiking around and stuff.
Cool, man.
And
cool.
So I caught a bunch of rides and used couch surfing quite a lot, which is like probably my favorite website.
Well, you told me a story about being in San Fran and then meeting the nicest couple.
Oh yeah. That was So that was Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah. So I went up the Highway 1, which is beautiful by the way. Have you been there?
Never been there.
Oh, I got a ride with this Czech dude.
Yeah.
And it was just me and him driving this really nice car through these winding roads.
Nice. And
it was funny. We actually, because the ocean was on our left, obviously, because we're driving like north.
Yeah.
And then I kind of dozed off and I woke up and the ocean was on my right.
Whoa. Okay.
I was like, this isn't right. Like, we're heading north. I was like, dude, like, are we heading the right way? He's like, yeah, that's all sweet. I'm like, man, like the ocean's on the other side. Like, that doesn't make sense. He's like, oh yeah. And he'd been driving like south for an hour. Like somehow he'd done this U-turn. He's like driving south. So it took us 12 hours to get to San Fran. Where we ended up.
Oh god! Wait, so was it like just a couple of seconds? You were like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah, I woke up because I'm like a bit out of it. I'm like, "Oh, surely not." And then I'm like, "Oh, we're actually heading the wrong way." But he was an awesome dude. Yeah, he was sick.
Yeah. 12 hours of driving, fuck.
But it was beautiful. Like I would do that drive a million times over.
Yeah.
So nice. Damn. Like through Santa Cruz and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we got to San Fran and stayed with the couch surfer there, and then I caught a ride with a girl heading to uni to Sacramento through Craigslist.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I just she had an ad up saying, I drive to uni every day. Give me $5 and I'll drive you wherever you want. And she picked me up from like the house I was staying in.
Whoa,
she was like a 19-year-old Indian girl.
Oh, cool.
Super nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And
for $5 as well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, so she's going there anyway, right? That's a bonus for her.
Yeah.
And it's a company as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got to Sacramento and I organised with this couch surfer to stay with him.
Yeah.
And because I've been travelling for a while, and I just crashed there like in this park, and he was like 3 hours late.
Yeah.
Which was fine with me because I was just hanging out in this park. Like it was a beautiful day, like all good.
Having fun. And
then he got there and he was like, "Oh man," he's with his girlfriend, like both lovely people. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Dude, like it's fine. Like you're doing me a massive favor."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I'm gonna buy you dinner. We're gonna get some beers." And I was like, "Man, you're the best guy ever." So we went out dinner and got some beers, and we went out in Sacramento. And he had a room in his house just for couch surfers.
That's so good. Wow.
And he was just a regular dude too. Like he was like honestly like the most normal guy ever. And
was he like a student or just had a job?
Yeah, he just finished uni. I think he just bought a store somewhere or something, starting his own business or something.
Wow. And so he was just doing this thing for couch surfers, and you just
he just loved the whole idea of it, which is
so awesome.
You know, everyone who does it a lot is the same. Like everyone just loves it and really appreciate what's going on.
That's so good. Oh. Yeah, we have about like 15 minutes left.
Okay,
let's keep going.
Just keep rambling.
Yeah. It's quality stuff.
Yeah,
it's quality stuff.
Spoken too much shit.
No, dude, it's perfect. Everything you've said so far is gold.
Good.
There's been like hip hopping around like Australia and then like America. And
then back and forth. I hope it makes sense. Like for someone who hasn't heard about it.
It'll make sense.
I hope so. Yeah.
And if it doesn't make sense, then I'm just hoping that like the listener kind of like dazes out. As they like focus back in on the podcast, like some other topic.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Woo.
Yeah, so for the rest of that trip, I just hitchhiked around California.
Yeah,
I went to Yosemite for a week, and that was
awesome.
Probably one of the best weeks of my life.
Yeah.
There's a famous camp called Camp 4 because Yosemite's so famous.
Like,
Since the beginning of rock climbing, it's been there.
Yeah.
And
it's just like, so you went there and you rock climbed for a week.
Yeah, so I rocked up, and the thing with Camp 4 is you can't book a campsite. The only way to get there is like get a line up at 4 o'clock in the morning and like hopefully there's room.
Oh my god!
So the first night I got a ride with this guy and a girl. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah.
They were German.
Okay. Yeah.
And they stayed for a night, and we just kind of like illegally camped like in the bush like, to avoid rangers.
Whoa.
And then they left, and I got up early and tried to get a spot at Camp 4. And I got a spot, and so I stayed there for a week.
Nice. Yeah.
And,
All right.
The thing is, like when you're by yourself, like you kind of have to meet people, otherwise you're gonna be stuck by yourself.
Yeah.
And like people kind of always ask, like, is it scary, like hitchhiking by yourself and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And like the reality is, it's like super scary. Like every morning I woke up and I was like terrified that I wouldn't meet anyone or I'd just be stuck.
Really?
Like not that I was scared of my safety, just scared like I'm gonna be like stuck by myself and ruin this beautiful time here or whatever.
Yeah.
But every day I kind of just like met people.
But that's the adventure, right? Like,
you just chuck yourself out there. And like when you're by yourself, people will always talk to you because you're by yourself. Like, it's obvious when you're traveling by yourself. Like you stand out. And
it takes balls as well. Like not a lot of people would actually do that. Like that's very few people.
Yeah, but the thing is like everyone can do it, and like. Well, that's the reality. Like, everyone gets scared. Like, no matter who you are, you're gonna get scared. And,
it's because we're so comfortable.
Yeah,
so
you just gotta put yourself in it, and once you're in it, it's not that scary anymore. Like, it's just like it's what you're doing now. Like,
no, I've noticed that. I noticed exactly what you're saying with like a lot of things in life. It's like a lot of people don't want to do certain things because like they're scared. Yeah. But then once they put themselves into whatever it is that they're scared of, it's fine. You just do it,
And it's funny because every time in retrospect, it's like, oh, well, that actually wasn't even scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I feel like the things you do aren't that cool anymore. Like, it's like at the time, like doing this thing was gonna be so cool and so scary, and then in hindsight, you're kind of just like, oh, that was just pretty tame. Like, life's actually really easy when you just do shit.
Life is so easy. You just do stuff. Yeah, but then you find people who are struggling, who have a lot of fear, and you're like,
definitely,
get out of there, man, just get out.
And that's like, and from like our book that we're making, like if we inspire like one person, like that's like
that's perfect. Yeah, dude, if you did your job.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, it's like I don't like that whole thing about like, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect before we do that,
Yeah, definitely.
So you probably had that before you went hitchhiking. You were like, okay, we have to get the perfect tent and like all the things together.
Well, not even because like Jesse and I are quite similar. We were just kind of like already had a tent, already had a cooker. Like we've got the shit. We don't need to buy new stuff. Like that's the whole idea. It's gonna be like cheap and easy.
That's awesome, man.
And honest and
Yeah, you see, like you already had the momentum going, so it was kind of easy to like make that first step.
Yeah, well, because we've done it before. We both have done a fair bit of hiking and camping and all that.
But like, say for like a fat man who's like living in some basement somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll probably be impossible for him to like get out and do it,
And that's it. Yeah. But everyone's got to start somewhere, like
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
But,
I noticed it in like a lot of Just like any event that you want to prepare, or like any new thing you want to do with your life. Like even for this podcast, like at first I was like, I sound like a fucking pussy. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's perfect though, because I feel like the people who are most successful in any field are the people that just are honest and do things that do the things honestly. Because like whenever you start something new, like a new venture or a new whatever, you're always like, fuck, is this gonna be lame? Like people are gonna think I'm a dickhead. Like it's not cool.
You had that with the Kickstarter for your thing.
Exactly.
Right?
I thought it would be dumb, and I thought
yeah,
and it ended up working out really well. Like,
blown
away.
Hell yeah, man. And like if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Who cares? Like, exactly. People aren't gonna remember that guy that like tried to do this thing and it failed. Like, they don't care about that. If you do it and you do really well and you make waves, they're gonna remember that.
That's
like,
a really good point. It's like, man, do you remember that one guy who tried to do that thing and he failed? Yeah, man, don't ever do anything ever again.
Story of my life, just doing shit and like shit. No, I'll do something else. Like the amount of times I've started different ventures.
Dude, you know, I feel kind of bad now because like it's reminding me, like. I have like 7 books that I'm reading, and I'm not finished.
Yeah, that's so cool, yeah. Do you ever get them mixed up, like, the narratives and stuff, like, mesh?
Yeah.
That would be so hard. I can't even read, like, one book at a time.
Well, like, I mean, like, I'm picking them up and I'm like, oh, I'm here, but, like, because I've left them, like, halfway, I'm just like, oh, God, I have to finish these things. You know, like, I start all these things and I never finish them.
Yeah, man, I feel like anyone in, like, the art industry is like that.
Yeah.
Starting shit right out. It's like, because you have an idea, you get so stoked about it, you start it, and you have another idea, and you're like, wait a minute, I can do this idea now.
Yeah, like this.
All of a sudden, you got like 5 projects on the go, and you're like, I'm gonna do this one today, and tomorrow I'm gonna do this, and then you just sleep in, you do nothing.
Yeah. You wake up, you're like, fuck it.
You wake up. It's like 2 months later, and you're like, I haven't even done anything.
Dude. And then you go hitchhiking for a month, and then it all picks up again.
Yeah.
It's all part of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I feel like as long as you've got those ideas and as long as you're constantly trying to be creative, putting yourself out there.
I said this in like the first podcast. It's like having a dream is so important.
Yeah, well, that was one with Scotty. Yeah. I like that one. Yeah, that was good.
Having a dream is just so important in your life because if you don't have one, you're just aimlessly wandering around and like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you? You know. I think the biggest misconception with that is people like. They think, having a dream, like I have to have this epic thing. Like it's not even that. It's just like something, anything. Like that's right. And sometimes it's like so big that they're actually scared of it. You know? And it doesn't even have to be that. It could be like, I want to have a bath every day. That's your dream. Yeah, whatever, man. But it's beautiful. I actually read this book. I can't remember what it was or how I found it, but it was like little things that you can do in your day, like that make you happy or like pick you up. That's awesome. And one of them was like every time you open a door, you got to guess if it's push or pull. And it's like if you get it right, just reward yourself. Like it's like you're walking out the door and you're like. Push. When you push it and you're like, I'm the greatest guy ever. I'm so dumb, but sometimes I do it, I'm like, fuck yeah, like, I got that right. I'm going alright. Dude, like, I'm gonna go buy a cake right now. Yeah. You walk around, you know those guys that are always walking through Melbourne, like, smiling to themselves? Yeah. That's those guys, they just pushed the right door. It's so good. I've been trying to do that more, actually. Like, I started a gratitude journal. Yeah. I've said this in, like, every podcast. But, like, I've been, like, writing, like, everything I've been grateful for that day. And it's just, like, this is, like, it's so rewarding. You're just, like, it's, like, little things are so important every day. Yeah. And that's, like, what makes life so fucking amazing. You know? Definitely, man. Yeah. I used to go on these camps, and I used to volunteer at them as well, called Mittagundee. Yeah. And, like, basically it's just where, like, all these school kids go on these 9-day camps or whatever and hikes. And the whole idea is in this place, there's no electricity, there's no music, there's nothing. Yeah. And at the end of every day, before dinner, they do this thing called thank yous. Yeah. So you thank someone or you thank something. Yeah. Which, it was really cool. Like, people just like, and that's the whole honesty thing. Like, people were just like thanking anything that like made them feel kind of cool that day. Or that is awesome. Yeah. And it was really cool. Like, I really dug that. Yeah. Like, I talked to my friend today. Oh, great. That's what it was, man. Like, people were like, I want to thank Jack for just like, waking me up in the morning, like, it wasn't for him, I would have slept an extra 10 minutes, would have missed the sunrise, like, and everyone's like, like, that was cool, like. Yeah. And it just, like, builds up the momentum, it's like, yeah, right. Everyone just gets to know, Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Man, I miss that, Like, that year I spent running and hiking and stuff like that. Yeah. I was, like, we were in units, and we were living with, I was living with other boys, and we got really close in the end. Yeah. And, like, every day I'd write in a journal and just be, like, really positive about, like, just, like, living with all these people and, like... Yeah, man. So it was, like, a really uplifting year, so... Yeah, that's so cool. I get what you're talking about. Yeah. No, that sounds like sick, that year. Yeah. But, yeah, like, little things in your day. Like, if you don't notice them, man, they just... That's it, man. And that's... fly above you. Yeah, throwing back to the hitchhiking thing, like, when you have nothing, you're just hitchhiking, like... Yeah, everything's a gift, right? Yeah, and everything is, like, you just have so much fun, like... Yeah. Like... Yeah, I didn't even end up telling you the horror stories. We got stuck in like a place called the Catherine for a whole day, and we were stuck in the desert for a whole day. Okay. So, which one was the first one? Catherine. So, what happened in Catherine? Okay, so that was probably the worst time. Like, there was no bad times, but like it was the worst time. Right. We got to this town, and we got there in the day, and like, because every day we had a goal. Like, we expected to be somewhere, just for our own sake. Yeah. And
And the plan was we way past Catherine in this one day.
Yeah.
And that day, coming down from Darwin, it took us like 5 hours to get 2 shitty lifts.
Whoa.
Got to Catherine midday, and we're like, all right, it's been a bad start, but we'll get out of Catherine, go south, and head towards the East Coast. Like everything's on the up.
Yeah, yeah.
We sat on the side of the road, man, for the whole day. And like it wasn't even like normally it's fine, like you just sitting there, it's fine, it's all good, but and people wave and like they laugh and hitchhikers, whatever. But at this place, man, people were like giving us greasies and like giving us the finger. It was like
really?
They were just like, what are you guys doing? And we're just like all of a sudden like this.
Whoa.
Yeah, the mentality's changed.
Whoa, that's crazy. So just like this one place, just like sucked all the energy out and just like it was weird. So we were stuck there, and then we was like shit. And so how long were you stuck there for? A day and a half, or?
Oh, about a day. Bit over a day, like 24 hours all up. So that night we kind of like hitched to the edge of the town.
Yeah.
And we put like a tent in someone's farm or something. Anyway, so we stayed there, woke up early, like it's alright. We'll get up early.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Let's do this.
Got up early. Got up at 7 or 8 o'clock or whatever. Got back out on the road.
Yeah.
And we were there for like another 6-7 hours, and we were just like, dude, like we're gonna be stuck here. And then we kind of like we needed food at this point, so we walked into town, and we got some food, and we got lost in this. We met this guy working at this youth house or whatever. And he was super nice. I went to ask for directions, and he ended up driving us back to the freeway.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, super nice guy. And then we're back there again, just stuck, and we're just like so shit. And then all of a sudden, this woman pulls up. And she had actually seen us the day before in the morning.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I saw you guys yesterday, and like, you're not going to get a lift here, I'm going to help you out. And she just drove us like 100 k's down the road, like, just because she thought that we were just like, we were stuck or we were.
So she just gave you a hand?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Out of, like...
Oh, she was heading that way, but but she literally came back to find us, to pick us up.
Whoa, that's so cool.
And like, that happened a few times actually through the whole trip.
Yeah.
People just like that, it's just amazing.
Man, that's awesome. They actually they care. They're like, oh, these guys are lost. I better give them a hand. But
that was the best feeling, because like Jesse and I didn't fight at all the whole trip, like, cause we gelled really well or whatever. Yeah. But that was the only point where our morale kind of dropped a bit.
Yeah.
And then we both had to kind of pick each other up, like, dude, come on, we can. It's all right, we're gonna get through it.
Back,
And there's a really funny photo of me in the book with just like head in my hands. It's just like shit. It just like fully reflects that time. But,
did you have like any funny cardboard signs? Like
yeah, we had a bunch of different ones. We had one that said, "We won't kill you," that we used a few times. We were just like waving it around like two dickheads on the side of the road. Like, we're not gonna kill you, come on. We just made random ones. We made like signs that said north or south often. They seem to work pretty well. They're not funny, but they worked.
Yeah, funny signs are just great.
Yeah, but the second time wasn't bad at all. But we were stuck in. There's a place called the Three Ways Roadhouse.
Yeah,
it's like the very central part of the Northern Territory.
Of course, yeah.
It's where there's 3 roads. One goes north to Darwin, one goes south to Adelaide, and one goes east to Townsville. Okay. We were heading east because we were cutting across to the coast at that point.
Yeah.
We met this crazy dude from the army who we camped with that night. It was just a really weird night with this guy. He drove on the side of the bush, we'll set up camp here, boys, and it was a fucking weird night. Anyway, I won't go into that, but
so he drove you, and then he was like, "Okay, we're all camping together."
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, boys," and he was doing. It was storm, and he was doing 160 down this freeway, and he's trying to get DVDs out of the back for his DVD player. He was like, "Holy shit, we're gonna die, 100%." He was a nice guy, but yeah, he's just
he takes out a big knife and a gun.
Yeah, he definitely would have had a gun and a knife in his car, 100%. Yeah,
holy shit.
He was just discharged from the army.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so we camped there that night, got up really early.
Yeah.
And then we saw about 8 cars that day.
Whoa, okay.
And but it was nice, it was in the sun, we had each other obviously, and we were just hanging out, throwing rocks and whatever we did to kill time. But yeah, we were there the whole day, and then there was nothing there, there was no town there, there was just a servo. Now the back of the servo there was this camping area, and it had a pool.
Oh, wow.
We pay $6 to stay there or whatever.
Yeah.
And we kind of called it a night early, and I was like, oh dude, we'll go camp, have a swim, just chill out, try tomorrow.
Swim in the pool,
And as we got there, I walked in and we paid our money.
Yeah.
Went and jumped in the pool, and there was this girl sitting next to the pool just by herself.
Yeah.
And I just started chatting with her, and she was just traveling by herself, and she was heading to Townsville the next day.
I
was like, oh, so you're heading to Townsville? You got any room in that car? And she ended up helping us out, and then.
Oh man, you used your boyish charm.
Yourself
a lift.
Nice. And we ended up we stayed with her for a whole day, and then we ended up staying with some people that Jessie knew, and we kind of helped her out because she stayed with them as well.
Oh,
because
yeah,
of us. So like, we helped each other out. It was really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, like it worked like that.
Yeah,
that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Like, just like because you had nothing, everything's like an adventure and a gift and like, presents every day. You know. Yeah. I mean, obviously you had like crazy days, but like,
oh, definitely, man. Like I said, like,
most of it was just amazing.
Yeah, man, and like, yeah. We're pushing it.
Yeah, I think we might have to wrap it up right about now.
Yeah.
But good. Dude, that fucking great story.
Seriously. I'm glad you invited me.
That was a really good podcast.
Yeah,
it was really uplifting.
Yeah.
Like, get out there and have an adventure, guys.
I kind of felt like I just yelled into the mic the whole time. Like,
Hey, listen, everyone at home.
I'm glad I only had one beer because if I had more, I would have just rambled my beer off and shit ass.
Yeah, dude, me too. I probably shouldn't push it. Yeah. But hey, we can go slacklining now if you want.
Yeah, rad. Let's do that.
Tightrope walking.
Awesome.
All right, so everyone at home, thank you very much for tuning in and listening again. This was lovely. So thank you for coming
thanks for having me, man. So cool.
And everyone at home, thank you. And good morning, good evening, and goodbye. Goodbye. Ciao.